very honored to be chosen.
Yeah.
I have an interesting thought that...
Ooh, I like the word interest. It interests you.
It's
Yes.
a good one.
Yeah.
That you've taught us about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And what I believe a law to be is something like the law of gravity, which is where the great majority of things
It's
are
dominant,
yes.
and things acquiesce to it.
Yes.
Because it's been in place for so long and been practiced and understood by so many that there's a momentum and a propulsion about it that it is completely illogical for it to be different.
I have a proposal that I think is another law that I want to propose adding to your lexicon, which is the law that Source never, ever thinks negatively of you.
Well, how's that different from the law of attraction?
So can I play with that a little bit?
So it's a sub-law?
It's a sub, I guess it's a sub-law. Yes, like municipal,
The law
federal.
of attraction says that that which is likened to itself is drawn. So your inner being who has practiced the vibration of acknowledging your advantages, of being the vibrational version of everything that you've asked for, so no resistance that is discernible from your physical perspective, that vibration is so pure and the law of attraction is responding in such a powerful way that it causes the results that you just spoke of. So that which you want to call a new law or another law is the results of the existing law. It's just evidence of that existing law.
So it's because of the law of attraction that
your inner being cannot
be anything
diverge from it.
From you being everything that you...
Love is so secure, it will always dominate. And it will never diverge from its source.
Which is all of us.
Yeah, your inner being, the source, that what you want to call source or God, is that powerful momentum and propulsion of that vibration.
It's so delightful that a piece of source would want to talk to us just in this way that you are doing here now. And I just, it's a
But the
thrilling
thing that we
idea.
really want you to hear is that you are a piece of source as well. You are an extension of the same energy. We are the same thing. We are just speaking from our perspective and you are speaking from your perspective. But our piece is not more significant than your piece. In fact, both pieces are necessary for the whole to exist. Mm-hmm. And your piece is what is causing our piece to expand. So we'll tell this story in terms of the new word peace. So you were a piece of non-physical, and then another piece of that which is non-physical decided to come forth into this physical experience. So there's this physical piece and this non-physical piece. Just having fun with your word peace. And so in your physical form, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you launch these rockets of desires, and the inner being piece says, oh, good idea, I will now become that. Because you've done all the vetting, you've done all the sifting and sorting, you acknowledged it, you lived it, you launched the rocket of it, your inner being can feel the wholeness of it and adds it to, or it becomes that which your inner being is. That's the expansion. That's the evolution of all species. That's the expansion of the universe.
It's so delicious to me to have, like, I have completely accepted that as purpose, which is another word that we use to give us motivation, internal motivation, that I have purpose. And I love the thought that my purpose here, that the things that I do, that the way that I think, that how I speak about things, that as an artist and I help other artists, that the way that I express what I express is actually contributing to the whole of all that is just such a glorious purpose.
There are several things that you have stirred up that we want to talk about. By living life as it comes to you, you do all of that. You cause an expansion of the universe and really fulfill your reason for being. That's why we say you can't get it wrong, because you contribute so much through your distilling of life and your personal conclusions of what you desire. Those launching of those desires matters so much. But when you come into conscious awareness of having launched a rocket that at first you weren't a match to, and then feeling the evolution of a part of you that the rest of you hasn't yet caught up with, and a natural desire to come home to that ever-changing what home is. Homecoming implies that you grew up in a nice place and it felt really good, and then you went out into the world and that was fine, but when you go home you really feel good. That's sort of what the message of homecoming is. We want to give it a new definition. You were non-physically home, and then you launched a part of yourself out into the universe and into this physical world where new things occurred to you and you had new experiences and you asked for more, and you sent the message home. And your inner being, who stayed home but is aware of where you are, because it's all home, stay with us, it's worth it. So you launched it, and your inner being became it, that unequivocal includer of this new intention. And now you're being called home, but you're being called home to what you have become, not back to what you once were. And that's why when we say we're all in this together, because without your exploration there would be no rocket. Without your rocket there would be no new asking. Without your new asking there would be no new becoming. Without that new becoming and your inner being's tenacious vibrational stance within it, there would be no gathering of cooperative components. Without your awareness of your emotions and your willingness to feel good, you would not come home. You will when you croak. You will when you have that death experience. We like to be,
I don't want to wait.
no, we don't want you to wait. We want you to come home now and now and now and now and now. But not only do we want you to come home, we want you to acknowledge that you created the home to which you are coming. We want you to feel your important part in the expansion of this universe. That's why it feels so good. It's such an interesting thing as we speak to you. At first, as we're speaking to you as humans, it was necessary for you to understand that other part of you existed. And for many, it wasn't a big stretch, because you've thought of soul or you've thought of source, but we wanted you to feel the absolute beingness and the stability of that part of you, that non-physical inner being part of you, who is watching you as you are in your physical form. And that's the part you were talking about, how exhilarating it is to you to realize that there is a part of you who is aware of you no matter what you are experiencing, and always honoring your opening words and appreciating who you be in this moment, whether you're ready to acknowledge that or not. And because your inner being is always knowing your value, there is a higher probability of you coming to know it, because not like humans like you and don't, they hang out with you and they don't, they friend you and they unfriend you. Humans are really fickle. Your inner being that stable, always offering a vibration of acknowledgement of who you are. And so as you become aware of that relationship that you have to that part of you, and you explore on a daily basis the sensation of emotions that are moving through you, so that you learn to calibrate yourself to the vibration of your wholeness. Now you stand in wholeness in this world of diversity, and that's when it starts being fun. That's when you don't feel insecure in a new place. That's when the place that was insecure feeling to you now feels adventurous to you. That's when you feel stable in a new place, where the new place felt insecure and unstable to you before. Now you've calibrated yourself to the wholeness of who you are, you see.
Calibrating is such a beautiful word.
The reason you like it is because it's deliberate. It's something that you're doing. It's an assignment of your own. It's not something that just happens. It's something that you consider into alignment. That's why it's so satisfying.
I wanted to add, for anybody else that could benefit from this, that I find a lot of relief is sort of an awkward word, but relief-ishness from just being okay with where I am. Because when I get caught in something that I don't like where I am, the minute I go, well, that's okay. I'm going to be okay that, I'm sad about this, or something is not right. But I'm going to be okay with that. That's when the magic comes, when I just sort of kind of let it go. And that's what can, I'm trying to find the right word, but you can suddenly see beyond it. It's like the fog clears suddenly.
Well, in the moment that you stop being unhappy with where you are It's like the cork that floats to the surface, and now you've got the advantage of seeing it as your inner being sees it, which was the reason that you asked the first question to begin with. You feel so honored and thankful that you keep connecting to that insight. It felt so good to you, you wanted to make it into a whole new universal law. You wanted to make it the law of whatever that is that loves me anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, really good.
I do. Thank you.
Really good. This is a good time for a segment of refreshment.